Hello ladies and gentlemen, Sigvaldo Grim here and welcome to yet another top 5 video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the top 5 teams that you should avoid in the arena as a beginner. And more or less in general, because even as an advanced player you can find a way around them, but it's mostly a nuisance to deal with them and the effort defeats the purpose. In this list I will be mentioning the main teams in the order that they have the most threat to making you lose the game, either by unfair mechanics or either by simply raw power or by annoying mechanisms that they have. Keep in mind that this list is 100% my personal opinion, and if you have a different opinion, let me know down in the comments how would you rank those teams and with what and why you do not agree with me. Also, I wanted to mention that if you find this video helpful, please make sure that you subscribe and you hit that bell button so you don't miss an update, because I post every single day and my channel is aimed at beginners. At the same time, if you have any question of any other matter, don't forget to leave it down in the comments. So without further ado, let's get into the top 5. And also you'll be able to see the rest of the fight and how much damage I managed to deal to Captain Cold if you make it through the rest of the video at the end. Coming in at number 5 we have the Justice League team. And this team is hard to beat as a beginner because it will deal much more damage than you will expect. And this is because of Justice League Cyborg, who's the backbone of this team. And why does he make the other teammates deal huge damage? Well, because of his passive. His passive cybernetic body is able to boost him and his Justice League teammates attacks, swipe attacks and tag attacks. And combined with the others, it makes it so that they deal huge amounts of damage on basic attacks, and if you don't play it perfectly, you might get your character killed by more or less a single attack combo, like 4 hits will end your character. And it's not only because of him, also we have Justice League the Flash, who has the Hyperspeed Assault. This adds 1 bonus fast attack to each member, so this means that every time a Justice League member will do a fast attack, instead of hitting twice, they will hit 3 times, and he will hit 4 times because he has 3 fast attacks. And on top of that, he makes the first Justice League teammates special to be unblockable for him and all the Justice League teammates. So not only that you are in danger of getting blown up by basic attacks, but you will also not be able to counterplay their special. And the third member, well, you got defense on your characters, you are confident that your defense will hold up. The third member of this team is usually Justice League Aquaman, and he by his passive makes this team armor piercing on basic, and that means they will have up to 100% armor pierce chance on basic, and that means every single basic attack will totally ignore all your defense. So for all those reasons, they are going to get number 5. If I was counting switching one of them out for Justice League Superman, they would make it much closer to number 1, but usually Superman is not present in the Justice League teams and is paired up with other teams. And also he is a legendary and you will not see him that often into the arena, especially at low levels, and this is aimed at beginners. They did not make it higher on this list because other than raw damage and unblockable specials, you can eventually learn to beat them if you try hard enough, and they don't have any frustrating or unfair mechanics. At number 4, regarding teams that you should avoid in the arena, we had the League of Anarchy team. So this team is usually comprised by Last Left the Joker, Entangling Poison Ivy, and Heartbreaker Harley Quinn. And this team is trouble from the start, and from this point on, all the teams that I will mention you should try 100% to avoid. So why is this team a problem? Well, we will skip talking about Entangling Poison Ivy because she, except for boosting their damage, and that's important, she is able to boost their damage by letting them do dot damage on their basic attacks, and that damage is not blocked by defense, so that will hurt a lot. Except for that, she's more of a defensive character. But the problems are with Last Left the Joker and Heartbreaker Harlequin. Last Left the Joker has a passive that increases the dot damage that is given by Entangling Poison Ivy. On top of that, he has this passive that has a chance to stun you on tag in. So you are minding your own business, you try to do a tag in to gain some power, and bam, your character is stunned. And not only he is stunned, but because of one of the Heartbreaker Harlequin's passive, he will also deal additional damage to you because you're stunned. So he stunned your character, he dealt additional damage to it, he killed your character, and now he's got additional damage for killing your character. And the next character that tags in might be as well stunned and chain killed as well. And if you manage to kill Last Left the Joker, you still have two very powerful members to deal with, and on top of that, you are going to get stunned for 4 seconds. And you can't keep them at bay with your stuns of your own, because Heartbreaker Harlequin also has a passive that allows her to reflect stuns. So if you try to stun the League of Anarchy opponents, there's a very high chance that they will be the ones stunning you actually with your own stun. So for all those reasons, please try to avoid League of Anarchy teams, because there are pretty low odds you will come out successful. Coming in at number 3, very close to number 2, so keep in mind that between number 3 and number 2 is just a matter of personal preference. We have the Multiverse team. And the Multiverse team has a lot of annoying characters, but by far the most annoying and the most difficult to deal with is the Multiverse Armored Supergirl. Since this video is aimed at the beginners, I'm going to go very quickly through her abilities and not very in depth. First of all, we have Multiverse Power, makes her start with more power for every Multiverse teammates she has. Then there's Fueled by Might, which is not very concerning. And Interruption, which is the fact that she will land when she tags in. At the same time, she will interrupt any special attack you're doing. She will deal tremendous amount of damage, and she will gain a lot of power for tagging in. And now let's get into her abilities. There's Burning Vision, who's a dot ability, which means is not going to be reduced by defense. On top of that, this is also going to apply burning damage. Burning damage makes your defense half the value. Then she has Shield Up, which basically makes her unkillable, being stronger if paired up with Multiverse teammates. And then there's her third ability, which makes her even stronger, makes her have increased damage, makes her have huge critical attack damage and chance buffs. And all this, keep in mind, is combined with a Multiverse the Flash, who also gives critical chance and critical damage, and who reduces the cost of your special abilities. So you have a character that simply does not need any defense whatever, or any other critical attack chance or critical attack damage stat. So everybody is going full attack damage with her. And the problem with the Multiverse team, except for Multiverse the Flash, who's really annoying by himself, and for Multiverse Arrow, who's also really concerning to fight, is the fact that you will simply get one-shotted by Armored Supergirl. You will get one-shotted. She will one-shot you at the start of the match because she starts with a lot of power bars. She will one-shot you when she tags in. She will one-shot you whenever she wants. So if you want a guaranteed loss, then go up against the Multiverse team. Coming in at number 2, we have Batman Ninja team. And the main threat in this team will be Batman Ninja Catwoman and Batman Ninja Gorilla Grodd. And why you shouldn't fight this team? Remember that before I said that, for example, Justice League team could one-shot your team by basic attacks, League of Anarchy team could one-shot your team by basic attacks, and Multiverse team could one-shot your team by special attacks. Well, try to imagine that, but at the same time, imagine the characters being immortal for 9 seconds after you've gotten them low enough on health, and also having dot damage and blind chance on their abilities, and also having on top of a huge damage, having a character that is tanky and also has a shield, which is Gorilla Grodd. So this team is hard to get to the point of killing. After you get them to the point of killing, you'll have to wait for the immortality to pass for each character, and while you are doing that, they will deal loads of damage to your team. So as a beginner, do your best to avoid any ninja teams that you find, because you will surely perish. And coming in at number 1, we have legendary teams and any team that has a legendary character. As a beginner, you will not want to face legendary characters since they are too overtuned for you to be able to deal with at this level. And there are 2 exceptions to this that I'm going to talk about first. There's Brainiac, who, if not paired with other legendaries, he is not going to be a very serious threat to you. And also there is Harley Quinn, which also, if not paired with other overpowered characters, she will not be a threat to you. But except those 2, and we've already mentioned another legendary, which is Gorilla Grodd, which is a very strong member of the Batman Ninja team. Then you have Superman, for example, Justice League Superman, who has a shield that blocks all damage, reflects it back, and then heals himself. He also tags in and stops your specials and basically one-shots you. And we have our boy Darkseid, who can summon parademons, which means adding another character that you have to defeat before you get to him, as Apocalypse Bomb as Sacrifice Are Necessary, which heals him and gives him additional attack after he has killed an opponent. And he has Apocalypse Bombardment, which deals a huge amount of damage to your characters if he's tagged out. So even if he's tagged out, he is a threat to your team. And also his specials has 1 armor piercing special, which means he will ignore armor, and has 1 power drain special, which means he will drain your power bars. And at the same time, he has a shield that if you deal damage higher than a percentage of his total health, he will shield himself. And this also applies to every single teammate that is with him. So imagine the fact that all the legendary characters in Arena are the same overpowered as him, or more overpowered as him, or a little bit less overpowered than him, but they are very strong nevertheless. And fighting a team that has a Darkseid alone requires a very high skill at the game and a very strong team to put down. So as a beginner, you will want to avoid any legendary character except for Suicide Squad Harley Quinn and for Brainiac. Other than that, stay away from all those legendary characters, because they are true to their name and they will slaughter your team. Well guys, congratulations and thank you for making it all the way to the end. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you have a different opinion than mine, make sure to let me know down in the comments. Also, as I've said, you can ask me any question and I will answer you. And without further ado, enjoy the fight and I'll see you in the next one.
These mortals have awakened the gods of old. We rise from our slumber to reveal our true power. Focus fire. to strike.